Is it worth using a buyer's agent for your first home? If you're a first home buyer trying to find out if you can benefit from a buyer's agent or not, this video is for you. Hey, it's Shuai here from Avocado Wealth, where we help you to grow your family wealth with the right property at the right price. In this video, I'm going to share 5 scenarios with you, so you can assess your own situation to find out if you can benefit from a buyer's agent or not. So let's jump into it. Being first time in the market is not easy. Many times you don't know what information is useful and what is irrelevant. Although many real estate investors or repeat home buyers would use a buyer's agent service to accelerate the process, and you as a first home buyer may also benefit from a buyer's agent. So now I'm going to tell you 5 scenarios so you can assess yourself to find out if you can benefit from a buyer's agent or not. Scenario 1. When you want to save time. Many first home buyers would spend 60 to 90 days or sometimes even can take a year or 2 before they can finally purchase the home they like. This situation has become to an acceptable norm for many first home buyers because they think they must spend a lot of time to do the research online, to go to house opens, to go to auctions, and even missing a few homes they would like to purchase. On the other hand, a buyer's agent averagely spends 30 to 45 days to secure a property for the client. Of course, sometimes it can take longer depending on the individual buyer's requirements, but still, it's much more efficient than the first buyer who does not know exactly what to do in the market the first time. The reason is that as a first home buyer, you probably will have your full-time job. So buying property is your part-time stuff. So if you're doing part-time, you maybe spend maybe an hour or 2 every day before you go to sleep. And Friday evening, you probably spend more time, look at a few more properties, put on your shortlist for Saturday house open or auctions. And when you attend the house open or auctions on Saturday, you may still not 100% sure if this is the property that you're going to buy. A few days later, you find out, well, this is the property that you are going to offer, but you realize that this property has already gone. And then you have to start this over again. This happens a lot in the hot market. On the other hand, a buyer's agent is buying real estate full-time for his living. This would make much sense if they have a better understanding of the dynamic of the market and has done all the homeworks in time before they go to house opens or auctions. And therefore, they have a greater chance to secure the property before the public buyers. First home buyer to a full-time buyer's agent is be like a first-time driver to a full-time Formula 1 racer. You would likely know who would achieve the finish line faster. So, as a first home buyer, yes, you can enjoy your own ride at your own property, take your time. Or you can take a ride with the F1 racer who would bring you to the finish line at the same time with them. Scenario 2. When you want to have less stress when buying your first home. The market is not quite friendly for first home buyers, especially when the market is hot. You're not only competing with other first home buyers, but also investors and repeat home owners who are upsizing or downsizing. And of course, you often find that the selling agent would not pay much attention on you to answer all your questions unless the market is very slow, so they have time for you. You can now probably imagine your stress when you're in the market the first time. And what's more, when you missed out your time to put an offer or when you outbid it in an auction, and you will feel the stress even more, especially when you have missed a few properties that you want to buy in a hot market. Then you will have the feeling, what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out. If you have the fear of missing out, that's not a good sign. Many first home buyers will now rush into the market and they generally would buy whatever they can grab. But a few years later, they might be regret the decision they make today because they didn't select a good asset at the beginning. On the other hand, a buyer's agent can help you to deal with your fear and stress because they can do all the hard work for you. your buyer's agent can search all the properties on the market and come out with a shortlist within your requirement. So you can just discuss the shortlist with your buyer's agent, which is much easier to go from there. If you really like the property from the shortlist, your buyer's agent can quickly talk to the selling agent to arrange an inspection for you. And sometimes they can arrange a private inspection for you, so you don't have to go there with tens of other competitors in the same time. So, if you don't want to deal with the stress and fear, then using a buyer's agent could be a good option for you. Scenario 3. When you potentially want to save more money, you may think you need to spend extra budget to hire a buyer's agent. How could this save you money? Well, as I mentioned from the second scenario, you may panic buying because you have the fear of missing out. And this would cost you a lot in the future because you are not buying a good asset for yourself. Besides from preventing you from panic buying, your buyer's agent will provide you full market research before you're purchasing a home. This will help you to understand what the market is doing right now, so you'll know how much you need to pay for the property. Also, your buyer's agent would negotiate the lowest price possible in the market on your behalf, so you don't need to overpay the property, and this would potentially save your money. However, please remember that this does not mean that a buyer's agent will always get you a discount from the property, because after all, real estate is a supply-demand game. In a slow market, buyers could bargain for more, but in a hot market, there isn't much room for housing price to go down. But the bottom line is, the buyer's agent can do the research for you so you understand if you're paying too much for the property or not in the current market. This will help you to stay in a better position if the market condition changes in the future. Because if you can pay less for the property than others in the same market, you will have more potential to have a capital growth in the future than others. And also, you can save a little bit of cash from stamp duty because you're paying lower price for your property you're going to purchase. So if you don't want to overpay and minimize the mistake that is costly, a buyer's agent could be a good fit in your team. Scenario 4 is when you want to have more property options. This is quite straightforward. As an individual buyer, the common place for you to search for properties are those major online portals like realtor.com, domain.com, etc., which surprisingly only take up about over half of the properties for sale in the market. If you want to access more options like off-market properties, then you have to contact all the selling agents in the area that you are planning to buy and follow up with them frequently to chase for off-market properties. On the other hand, you can seek help from a local buyer's agent who has already established the relationship with local selling agents. And because of the good relationship and the trust between them, when a selling agent has off-market opportunities, they will pass to the buyer's agent first because they know that the buyer's agent would have buyers that are ready to move quickly. So, if you want to access more real estate options quickly, you can talk to a buyer's agent who can bring you to more access to off-market properties. Scenario 5 is when you want to have more confidence when negotiating with the selling agent. In some cases, you might have already found the ideal home by yourself, and that's great for you. But you realize that you don't have the same level of real estate knowledge when you negotiate with the selling agent. You could accept this disadvantage because you are a first-home buyer, or you could decide to play the game on the same level with selling agent by hiring a buyer's agent to negotiate on your behalf. Although a buyer's agent often provides buying service from the start to finish, they can also provide a negotiation-only and auction-only service to those who already found a home themselves. So, if you need more confidence when putting an offer or bidding on auction, you can consider to hire a buyer's agent, because they generally have a good relationship with the selling agent, and your buyer's agent can talk to the same industry jargon with the selling agent to smooth the buying process for you. Have you ever experienced these 5 scenarios that I just mentioned? And how did you overcome them? Please share your experience in the comment area, as this might be helpful for others. If you do like this video, please hit the like button. This will help me to keep going. And if you have any questions or any topics about the real estate that you want to hear about, please comment below. I will share more insights and tips in the following weeks, so if you don't want to miss out the latest content, please hit the button and subscribe below. Next week, I will answer the question about the rent investing and how you can benefit from it, and I will see you in the next video.